Below, a heavily armoured carriage bearing the Sheriff of Nottingham's dull gold crest trundled over the roots and mud. High above, Robin Hood waited in the shadows of the ancient oaks. The guards were heavily armoured but slow, and the gold inside that carriage could feed Nottingham's orphans for a year. It was easy pickings. With a confident, mischievous smirk, Robin drew back his longbow. "Time to redistribute the wealth," he whispered. He released the bowstring, aiming to safely halt the lead horse, but before the arrow could strike, the sky split open with a deafening thunderclap. A blur of crimson, gold, and blue plummeted from the heavens, landing directly in the arrow's path and kicking up a massive cloud of dust. As it cleared, Wonder Woman stood tall, her silver bracelets of submission crossed before her face. Robin's arrow shattered instantly against the indestructible Amazonian metal. Robin's eyes widened in absolute shock, but he quickly shifted his stance, pulling 3 arrows from his quiver. He didn't know what manner of forest spirit she was, but she was defending a tyrant's gold. Leaping from the branch into a daring freefall, he unleashed a rapid, impossible volley. Wonder Woman didn't flinch. She moved with blinding, godlike speed, her arms blurring as she deflected each projectile with mathematical precision. Hitting the ground in a graceful roll, Robin nocked a thick, blunt-tipped arrow. It struck a rock between the Amazon's crimson boots, exploding in a massive, blinding cloud of grey smoke. "A coward's tactic," Wonder Woman yelled. She unclipped the glowing, golden lasso of truth from her hip. It hummed with magical energy as she swung it in a wide arc, cutting through the smoke like a scythe. As Robin attempted to flank her from the canopy above, the golden lariat whipped up, coiling tight around his torso and pinning his arms mid-swing. Wonder Woman pulled the lasso taut, forcing the rogue to his knees. "It is the lasso of truth. You cannot lie while bound by it," she demanded. "Why do you attack these men and steal their coin?" He explained that the sheriff taxed the poor until they starved, and that he stole the gold only to feed the orphans, the widows, and the sick, keeping nothing for himself. Diana's fierce expression instantly softened. He was no mere bandit. He was a champion of the oppressed. Suddenly, the corrupt captain of the guard raised a heavy crossbow, aiming directly at Diana's unarmored back. "Die, witch!" he snarled. Warned by Robin, Wonder Woman spun without even looking, releasing the archer and raising her shield in a single fluid motion. The heavy bolt shattered harmlessly against the aegis. Realizing she had misjudged the true villains of the forest, an unlikely alliance was forged. Together the Amazon princess and the archer made spectacularly quick work of the terrified guards. Robin fired a volley of disarming arrows while Wonder Woman leaped into the fray, her lasso rounding up the corrupt soldiers in one inescapable sweep. With the dust settled, Robin hopped onto the carriage step to inspect the prize. Inside an iron-bound chest, amidst the gold, sat a strange, jagged obsidian stone. It absorbed the surrounding light, pulsing with a faint, sickening purple aura. Outside, Wonder Woman suddenly stiffened, sensing an ancient, familiar evil. "Robin, wait, do not touch it!" she cried out, but it was too late. As Robin's hand made contact, thick, swirling tendrils of violet and black energy erupted from the stone, snaking up his arm like living tar. He stumbled backward, writhing in agony as the dark energy completely engulfed him in a crackling cocoon of shadow. When the cocoon exploded outward in a violent shockwave, a corrupted Robin Hood was revealed. His tunic was midnight black, his skin pale grey, and his eyes burned with malevolent violet energy. The artifact had possessed him. "The sheriff was a fool," Dark Robin declared, drawing a bow of pure shadow. He fired a screaming necrotic arrow that struck Wonder Woman's shield with a massive concussive blast, skidding her backward. Leaping high into the air, he floated above the canopy on a pillar of smoke, unleashing a barrage of shadow magic. Wonder Woman rolled and dodged, pleading with him to fight the corruption, but Dark Robin only laughed. Thrusting his hands forward, he summoned massive, undulating tentacles of solid shadow from the earth. They wrapped around Diana, lifting her off the ground and squeezing brutally. Grimacing with effort, her veins bulging, Wonder Woman pushed back against the crushing darkness. With a mighty roar to hear her, she shattered the shadow constructs with her godlike strength. Freed, she lunged forward in a blur of speed, tackling the corrupted archer through a thick oak trunk. Furious, Dark Robin gathered a massive sphere of raw, necrotic energy and unleashed a devastating wave. Wonder Woman dropped to one knee, planting her shield and bracing as the ground around her turned to ash. When the energy finally dissipated, she stood slowly. Her diplomatic expression was gone. She was now the god of war. "To save the man, I must break the monster," she vowed. She threw the lasso of truth. Dark Robin tried to turn into smoke, but the magical rope bound his corporeal form, wrapping tightly directly over the pulsing obsidian stone embedded in his chest. The truth burned him. Wonder Woman hauled the screaming archer toward her. Raising her silver bracelet high, she brought it down in a massive, thunderous chop directly onto the stone. A blinding explosion of white light filled the forest as the obsidian shattered into dust. The darkness was violently expelled from Robin's body in a screaming vortex. When the light faded, Robin Hood lay unconscious in the dirt, back in his normal green tunic. Wonder Woman knelt beside him, checking his pulse with a concerned expression. The shadows had retreated, but the scars remained. Sherwood had never seen a battle like this, and it was only the beginning.